Hey guys, welcome back to part 4. So we're going to just jump right into it. So the roof was replaced. Thank goodness they were able to do it because the first hurricane hit like 2 weeks later, week and a half, 2 weeks later. So in the meantime, my lawyer did ask me if I have done an inspection of the home. I said no. The only time I went in there recently was when I was getting estimates for the roof. And I walked into the living room and his husband handed me this BS about solar panels. But anyway, and at that time, I didn't see anything. I mean, the house was nice and clean. They kept the house really nice and clean. So she says, let's get an inspection. She said she could do it. And I'm thinking, girl, you cost too much money. So she arranged for an inspector to go inspect the house, take pictures of the inside and out, and then we'll go from there. So he did. The house was pristine on the inside. As a matter of fact, he said in his communication that the house is show ready, as if you're about to show the house for sale. That's how nice it looked on the inside. I did give him notice, the tenants notice, that an inspector was coming. I believe I notified him on Thursday for a Monday inspection or Wednesday. And this guy had the nerve to text me and said, can you call me because I have questions about this guy? No, you cannot. We will not be talking. You don't question me about anybody. I have a right to have the house inspected. And I gave you guys plenty of notice. So I never even responded to that text message. And probably at this point in time, I'm not really talking to him verbally. It's all text messages and emails, or no response from me at all, unless it had something to do with something like repairs. And in the meantime, I did tell him that I was trying to get someone, as the hurricane was approaching, I was trying to get someone to seal the windows because according to him, when it rained, the windows would leak. But every time I tried to arrange something, it would rain. Even when I was going over there, I grabbed a friend. I said, hey, let's just go put some caulking around the windows. It would rain. So when Hurricane Helene came, I did text him after the fact. Okay, I had to stop and look at my text messages. So I did text him and said, hey, I have someone in mind to caulk the windows. But in light of the hurricane coming, everybody's scrambling to take care of themselves. And he said, no worries, that they had evacuated to Indiana. His husband's dad was ill or whatever the case may be, and that they were thinking about coming back that Thursday. But they ended up coming back on Saturday. Let me pull up a calendar because now the dates are important here. Oh, that's a calculator. They ended up, and I said, oh, okay. I did not get a chance to get anyone around there before Hurricane Helene to caulk the windows. But they came back on Saturday, the 5th, I believe. Yeah, it was Saturday the 5th, October 5th. He texted me a long text. I'm talking a long text about their couch and love seat is wet and that their rug is wet. And because they lost power, they lost all of their food. And he sent me pictures of all of his food. Well, first of all, if the power went out, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Talk to Helene. I ain't got nothing to do with you losing your food. A lot of people did. But he never sent me pictures of damages to his sofa or water on the ledge. Maybe the water had dried by then. But my thing with that is, if you've already told me that water is coming through the window and why would you leave your, well, the way the house is set, the living room is set up, the love seat is up against the window. Why wouldn't you move that from the window? And how could it be that much water that the water would affect your love seat and your couch? Come on now. Come on now. And on the days that it did rain when you were in town, you could have easily shot me a video and said, hey, look at all of this water rushing through the window. So they came back on Saturday, October 5th. He sent me this long text message with pictures of his food and this and that. And then he says, I'll drop off the check tomorrow, which is a Sunday. And I told him the rent is due today and please submit payment to avoid the late fee. Because at this point in time, I'm not being nice anymore. I'm all about business. So he said, fine, I'll drop the check off today. I went to an event that Saturday night and I could see them on camera. He put the check underneath the mat. So when I got home, the check was there. And I thought to myself, okay, he may not even let this check go through. Let me go ahead and direct deposit, do a mobile deposit. So I did Sunday morning, did a mobile deposit of the check. Monday, so on that Sunday, I did send him a message saying, we'll be over tomorrow to caulk the windows. And he said to me, because there was news of the next Hurricane Milton, he says, what about preparing the home for the next hurricane? I told him to prepare as he sees fit. And keep in mind, we're between text and email, so I may go back and forth. And he said he was surprised at my sense of lack of ownership of the home, that they're not responsible for windows and doors and things like that. And I know that. And there's no Florida law, there's no law saying that I have to board up the house in light of a hurricane. There's no law saying that they have to board up the house for a hurricane. So I left it at that. And let me just say this. This rental home and the home I live in now, it's in a non-evacuation, non-flood zone. So I was pretty confident that my house would be safe. Of course, they may have felt a different way, but it is what it is. So in between that text message, he wrote me an email which says, due to the intensification of Hurricane Milton and your suggestion of prepare as you see fit, we will be evacuating until the storm passes. A stop payment has been issued on the rent check, and a new payment will be delivered upon our return, along with any applicable $50 late fee. This decision is necessitated by the costs associated with evacuation to ensure our safety, particularly given the current health conditions. That ain't none of my business. We will continue to monitor the storm's path from the panhandle, along with power outages and road conditions, and will keep you informed of our return. Thank you for your understanding. I never told him that I did understand. But anyway, that was his email to me. And I sent him a text message saying, you may want to think twice about stopping payment on the check. And so we went back and forth on emails. No, I think that was the last text message that he sent to, actually, he didn't respond to that text message when I told him to think twice. But I did send him another text message. I said, make sure the gate doors, I'll be over to, caulk the windows. Me and a friend, we were going to try to do it. I said, make sure the gate doors are unlocked. And I did ask him, I said, did you change the locks on the front door? If so, remember in the lease, it says that you need to provide me a key. Because at that point in time, I'm thinking, If he's claiming all this water, then as a landlord, if it's a repair, then you have a right to go into the house and check it out and repair. So he never responded to that. And me and a friend did go over. Well, he was going to meet me there that next day to caulk the windows. And then I went up to the door. It didn't look like they had changed the locks. And I started to go in. But then I thought, you know what? If they have an alarm system, it may go off and a police may come. And I don't want to have to go through all that rigmarole about proving that, I'm the landlord, this and that. So I just said, fuck it. I just said, fuck it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to wait. And when they come back, then I'll deal with it. If it's been leaking all this time, what's another rainstorm, right? Anyway, so I just left it at that. I probably shouldn't have thought like that. But at the time, I just said, you know what? I'm not going to go through that. I'll just wait. So that the check went through. The money was deposited into my bank account. But how about that Friday? I get notification that they took the money back out. So I don't know how he did it or what the rules are on them taking money back out for a stop payment, because I deposited the money, the check, and it went through. But that Friday, honey, they took that money right back out of my checking account. I was pissed, right? So I evacuated. Let's see, I stayed here that first night at my house. I had no flooding or damage to my house. But the power went out the next day. So my niece called. She said, hey, she lives in Bartow. She says, hey, auntie, we have power. You can come over here. Bartow for me is about an hour and 10 minutes away from where I live. So I went ahead and went over to her house for that weekend until the power came back on here in St. Pete. I'm going to stop there because, like I said, it gets gooder and gooder, but it gets worse and worse. So I'll see you guys back for part 5. Stay tuned.